Hey everyone, what's up? Welcome to Speak Now Pro Wrestling. I'm Denise Salcedo. It is Saturday night and we're all indoors ready to talk about some professional wrestling here today. Oh man, guys, this is the one day that we can actually blame AEW Dynamite for not having a life on Saturday. I'm just gonna go ahead and blame AEW Dynamite for that. But anyways, guys, I'm so glad to be on here chatting wrestling with you guys once again. Again, this was a very special edition of AEW Dynamite on Saturday since it was preempted. And then next week, we are officially going back to Wednesday. So I cannot wait because my schedule is going to go back to normal. NXT on Tuesdays, AEW Dynamite on Wednesday, and Friday night Smackdown. But what a show did we have here today, everybody. I gotta say that top to bottom, AEW gave us a lot to talk about today. They gave us a lot of good stuff. We're seeing a lot of stories progress, a lot of great wrestling, a lot of stuff that happened throughout this entire show. But before we get started, everyone, friendly reminder that this is a very interactive stream. So while you're here, don't be shy. Go ahead and send in a comment in the chat. I will be reading your thoughts as we go through the entire show. I do run through things chronologically, so send in your thoughts as they correspond to what we're talking about on the show. Also, if you guys want to send in a super chat, I thank you guys so much. Sorry for that. I was moving the microphone. If you guys want to send in a super chat at any point throughout this show, not only will I give you like a massive shout out and a massive thank you, but you definitely help me out because F4W Wrestling Observer, they do allow me to keep 100% of all proceeds from super chats. So Hollywood Salcedo loves the money. Send in the super chats. All right, actually, we are kicking things off, guys. Let's do this. We got our first super chat of the day, and this one is from Dr. Sophia Bonilla, who is the DWO EVP, and says, "Did you know when I disagree with you that I call it Salce No? You better have liked Dynamite tonight because it was great. Conan's promo, right? Question mark. Well, I guess I'll kick things off by saying I love Dynamite today. It was a very good show, and I'm sure you guys got that from the top when I said that they gave us a lot on this show tonight, and they kind of had to because, guys, we stayed home on a Saturday to watch wrestling. So, I feel like they had to put on a good show, and I think that a lot of us, we're already expecting, a pretty incredible showcase during the main event with Kenny Omega and Jungle Boy. And I'm going to talk about that more a little bit later on. But I will say this much, though. They definitely delivered when it came to the main event. And again, we'll talk about that once we get to that portion of the show. But thank you so much to Dr. Sophia Bonilla, DWO EVP, for kicking us up on the super chats here. And boy, we got a giant super chat. This one is from Cameron Mumford. Thank you so much to Cameron Mumford. Cameron says, overall, the show was solid. Awesome main event. Jungle Boy is a bona fide star. Really wanted him to win. On to All Out we go. Oh, I cannot wait, guys. I'm like counting down the days till I leave my house and go someplace. I can't wait to go to the shows and everything that's being lined up in the world of wrestling right now. But I think that the main event was exactly what it needed to be. It told the perfect story, had the perfect outcome, and my eyeballs definitely enjoyed that main event. Again, we'll talk about that more, but thank you so much to Cameron Mumford for sending in this awesome super chat here today. And let's see, I want to make sure I didn't miss anybody else here. All right, guys, let's go ahead and do this. I'm going to read a couple of your thoughts overall on how you guys felt about Dynamite, and then I'm going to kick things off at the top of the show. Let's see what you guys all have to say here. This is a comment from Mikey Kosminski, who says, I love how they're using young stars like Jungle Boy, Sammy, etc. AEW's future is bright with the young stars. Well, I know during the AEW Double or Nothing press conference, that was something that both Chris Jericho and Tony Khan definitely put over a lot. The fact that they want to build stars. That is the key, guys. You've got to build stars, and they are definitely doing that. There's several people that a lot of us can go ahead and name and say like, oh, this guy's going to be a big star in X amount of years, etc., etc. I think there's a lot of different options of names of people that we can list off. But let's see what else we got here. This is a comment from Lenny Banner, who says, Excellent show, nice balance of excellent baby faces and heels, both at the top of the card to the middle and so forth. This is a comment from Taylor Cannon who says, I love seeing Conan tonight, wondering what happens with him next. Dude, Conan, aside from like the main event, I'm going to say that Conan's appearance on AEW Dynamite was one of the highlights of the entire night, okay? We'll talk about that once we get to that portion of the show, but just know that I loved every single thing that Conan did, that he said, and I was like living for that segment. We have another super chat. This one is from Khaled Adam. Thank you so much to Khaled Adam, who says, the bunny deserves better than she's getting. Yeah, there was an unfortunate spot that kind of looked like she did not, during the finish, it kind of looked like her head just spiked a little bit on the mat. So I hope that she's definitely okay. So we'll see about that. But thank you so much to Colette Adam for sending in this super chat here today. Alrighty, guys. Let's see what else we got here. This is a comment from Bauer Extension who says, the Bear Country match was too long. I liked it, though. Josh of Tall says, God's favorite champion is also my favorite champion. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get into the actual show, everybody. All right, so things kicked off, I think, in a pretty strong way. I think this was the perfect opening match for the show. You want to give the people what they want, and you know what the people want? Do you know what the people want? They want cowboy shit. That is right. The people want cowboy shit. They want Hangman Adam Page versus Powerhouse Hobbs. That is exactly how they kicked off AEW Dynamite here today. There was a lot that I enjoyed throughout this match here. So we had... Let's talk about a little bit of things that happened in this match. At the top of this, we had Hobbs overpowering Hangman, and I like that because obviously they should showcase that for Powerhouse Hobbs because he's this big guy. You want to see him do explosive things, and we definitely saw that at the top of this match. We see Hangman trying to take him down in multiple ways, but is unable to. Perfect. Love that. They fought on the outside on the barricade. That was pretty cool. At some point, though, and I kind of missed this, so Hangman Page gets busted open either, I think it was on the back of his head, but I think commentary said it was the top of his head. Either way, it was on his head, and I think it happened when he hit the post, although I missed like the actual, I didn't catch it until afterwards that he was busted open, so I didn't realize that that's what it was, but that seems to be what happened there. Afterwards, they get back into the ring. Page hits him with a boot in the face, hits him with a lariat. We see a crossbody to the outside from Page to Powerhouse Hobbs. Page then gets him with a moonsault. Afterwards, we see one of the things that I do want to mention here, though, and I have this in my notes, that's why I might as well bring it up now, is that I do think that what made this match more exciting was when they gave Powerhouse Hobbs these very explosive offense during this match. I thought that the more explosive Powerhouse Hobbs was, it made the match much more exciting. So I do wish that they would have done a little bit more of that during this match. And I think that I would have loved it even more than I actually did. Afterwards, we see Ricky Starks coming out. He tries to give Hobbs the FTW bout. Brian Cage comes out, fights him. Hobbs gets Page with a spine buster. That was a really awesome spot. When I talk about explosive offense, definitely that spine buster was definitely one of those spots that I really enjoyed. Then Hangman suplexes Hobbs and hits him with the dead eye for the win. This was a very nice match. Good way to kick off the show and felt very exciting. I thought that it set the tone for the night, and that's what you want to do with your opening match. You want to set the tone for the night, get people all excited, and I think that this match did just that. We also have another super chat. Thank you so much to Q Ruton, who says, huge boners for the whole show. You gotta get them, guys. Get them boners for the show. God. Kiruton says, double big boners for main event. They need to break Jericho's arm so he leaves and go on tour and lose. Okay. All right. Let's be nice to Jericho here. But you know what? Kiruton paid his money, paid his hard-earned money. So he gets his tweet read here, his super chat read here on this stream. I have to definitely agree with you that definitely huge boners for the entire show. Like I said, hey, you pay your money. I read what you say here on the air. I'm a fan of everything that Jericho is doing. following. So I'll pretty much just kind of end it with that there. But guys, if you want to get your comment, your question, your statement read on the air here, just like Q Rutan did, you are more than welcome to send in a super chat. Yeah. All right. Let's see what else you guys hear. What did you guys think of the show here? Send in your thoughts. Let's see. We got a comment from Blowing Smoke 247 who says, Hangman will be the one to dethrone Kenny Omega for the world title and culminate the whole Elite storyline. I kind of feel like that's been the prediction amongst many. I know that's been a prediction amongst myself. However, like the way that they're getting there, I like it because there really aren't, like, even though that's the prediction for many, we all know that Kenny Omega still has a lot of matches that he could, like, obviously I know he's hurting a little bit. You know, Dave spoke about that on Wrestling Observer Radio, but there is still a lot that can be done with Kenny as champion when they do decide to pull the plug and have Hangman Page win. We all know we're going to pop for it, but the thing is that I do like that they are, you know, taking their time to get there, and this isn't something that is rushed. And like they know the fans want Hangman Page to have that moment, and a lot of people are expecting it, but they aren't rushing to get there. And I definitely enjoy that for sure. And so let's see what else we got here. This is a comment from Carney Business, who also says, I'm gonna lose my shit when the Hangman finally wins the bout. It's that simple, guys. I think everybody here is gonna lose their mind here. And this is a comment from Obo299 who says, just left Daly's place. The crowd was hot for Jungle Boy. I'm not surprised whatsoever. That definitely came through here tonight on the show. When I was at AEW Double or Nothing, the crowd was so hot for Hangman Page, Jungle Boy, Orange Cassidy, Britt Baker. I would say that those were probably the people that got like the loudest reaction, with obviously Hangman Page getting the biggest reaction there. And let's see what else we got here. I'm going to read a comment from Chris Cage 2X who says, Powerhouse Hobbs was smarter than all the other wrestlers after the failed assist that turned into an unintentional distraction. And we have a super chat from Q Rutan who says, Denise is the best. All hail secret F4W online leader, Denise. You know what? At this point, might as well, guys. For those of you guys who do not know, I am helping run. Not only do I have 4 shows now here on F4W online, but I also help run the Instagram account and the TikTok account, which BTW, if you have not followed the TikTok page or the Instagram page, make sure you do so. It is the exact same handle as the Twitter page at WONF4W. Go ahead and check out those accounts and make sure you guys follow, since lots of good stuff on there. Thank you so much to Q Rutan for sending in another super chat. I really, really appreciate it. This is a comment from Michael Corvin who says, heels really dominated the episode of Dynamite except for Sammy's moment. Yeah, I think we can definitely see that. All right, guys, let's move on. All right, so after this, we have an announcement. I think this was actually already announced, but they just mentioned it on the show here, that Eddie Kingston and Penta will be facing the Young Bucks next week. And I'll tell you that's going to be a fun match. And I think you guys already knew that. Now, ladies and gentlemen, get those comments ready, because this is it right here, guys. This is, aside from the main event, the best segment of the entire show, okay? I think every single person watching this next segment was just like, oh, snap, burn, oh, shoot, whatever the hell your preferred reaction is. I think we all had some very, very major reactions when it came to this. So we have Tony Schiavone, Tully Blanchard, and Conan. And I forgot what they said, what they promoted this as, but they are essentially like having, I forgot, I think it was like gentlemen something. I forget, whatever. They're having a conversation back and forth here, all right? So Tully lets Conan go first. That was mistake number 1, buddy. Mistake number 1. Conan, essentially, I don't know how long this promo was. I really don't know. It was a couple minutes maybe. But he proceeds to use the following few minutes to completely bury, and I mean bury, Tully Blanchard like 20,000 feet under the ground, because he says that he knows Tully likes to play mind games, but he isn't buying that. He says that Proud and Powerful have been through everything and that they're prepared for everything. He says that, you know, while Tully is a mentor Conan is more of a father. He says a couple of lines here, guys, which I just lost my mind for and completely marked out for. Some of those lines were, you might want to learn Spanish because you might want to communicate with your grandkids someday. This was a direct quote from Conan to Tully, obviously in reference to his daughter, Tessa, and her relationship with Daga. You guys all know that. So that was a fantastic line. He says, another line where he says, in regards to people being from North Carolina, he says, where men are men and the sheep are scared. I don't think I have to translate to you what he means by that, but that was another great line. He starts telling him how Walmart is still hiring greeters, referencing his age. Guys, this was absolutely just like brutal for Tully, because Conan completely outshined, over-delivered this entire segment. I could not stop laughing. If there's anything I'm going to go back and rewatch on this show, it's definitely that. And I immediately tweeted out to everybody, we need to see Conan on the show each and every single week, because he brings something so cool to the show, so edgy, just with all of these lines. I mean, it's fantastic. After this, FTR does ambush Conan and attack Santana and Ortiz. But again, this was a fantastic segment. I'm sure everybody here that's watching the stream watch AEW Dynamite, but for the select few that probably missed a show and are just here for the replay, for the post-show recap, excuse me, I do not do justice to this segment. Go out of your way to watch Conan bury Tully Blanchard in a very hilarious manner. So make sure you guys check that out. We have a giant, oh my God, a giant super chat from Faustino Vargas. Guys, please, oh my God, Faustino. He says, shout out to Hollywood Salcedo, and sends in a major super chat. Dude. I don't know how to thank you enough for this. Thank you so much for sending in this super chat. I really appreciate it. And I feel like my thank yous aren't enough, but I seriously thank you so much for sending in this super giant super chat. It keeps you're the reason I get to keep my air conditioner on during the streams, because I don't want anybody making fun of how much I sweat during these shows anymore. I now turn on the air conditioning. For those of you guys who do not know what I'm talking about, a couple shows ago, I was doing the show without air conditioning, and I was what you call sweating bullets and buckets. It was terribly embarrassing. I sweat like a man. I don't know how else to say it, but I do. And so I finally turn on the AC here on these streams. So thank you so much to Faustino Vargas. He thank you. All right, guys. Let's see what you guys are saying about this Conan segment. This is it. Send in your thoughts here. Colette Adams says the Tessa reference was icing on the cakes. Bonkers IFC says Conan is a legend. Hell yeah. Joseph Bozef says, feels like Conan is bringing back the Latin American exchange to AEW. Jordan Patu says K-Dog is an absolute magician on the microphone. Hearing him come promos on Tully was amazing. More Conan on AEW, please. Tonol says that the best line was when he talked about that North Carolina, about the men being men and the sheep being afraid. Thank you so much. Blowing Smoke 247 points out that Conan took a great pile driver spot. He did. He really did, honestly. He really did. Joseph Boza also says that he liked the line where where Conan said that Walmart is still hiring greeters, and basically pointing out that he said, I'm going to end this entire man's career. Let's see what else we got here. We have a comment from R. Riggs that says, love Conan since I saw him in WCW, loved his promo. The man has a very legendary career, guys. And I've been very lucky, and I'm going to brag because I feel like I need to brag about this, because I got the chance to work with Conan when I was doing, when I did a couple of shows for Ara Lucha. I got to work with Conan, and I was so nervous about it. Like I don't think I've ever been intimidated by anybody before, but I was sort of intimidated by Conan because he just has like this great mind for wrestling, and he's so real, and obviously he keeps it 100. We all know that. And so like I got to meet him and work with him, and he's like literally the coolest person ever. So then I got to do a 1-hour podcast with him, and we had the best conversation ever. So all I gotta say is I only have love for Conan, and respect, honestly. Alex Aguilera says, I audibly gasped several times during that segment. Same here. Patrick Etheridge points out that Conan was a savage. DJ Big Whitley says Conan is the man. Ken Paul Crab says this was his favorite part of the entire show. Let's see what else we got here. I'm trying to get a couple more. This one is from Skibo El Idolo, who says, Skibo El Idolo, not the igloo or whatever JR says. He says, I do feel AEW needs vignettes for debut wrestlers. AEW needs to hype up people in different ways than just walking out and saying nothing at all. Feels very underwhelming and very disappointing whenever they come out and does nothing for the stars on AEW. There's actually somebody that I do need to talk about, but this isn't the point of the part of the show yet where I'm going to talk about this. But there is somebody that I do not like how they have done the presentation for this person so far. But I will talk about that once we get to that actual segment of the show here. And I'm trying to get a couple more here of some comments here on what you guys thought about Conan. Let's see. This is one from Indie Handshake who says, my only complaint after the segment, when Conan is being helped out, we are staring at Excalibur and JR talking about the segment. They need to let those moments breathe, show the ring for a bit. You know what? Yes, I do agree. I mean, let's not all talk about the whole SCU retirement and how they did not let that moment breathe whatsoever. So yeah, I do agree with you. I think that moments like this, when you get good moments in wrestling like this, you should definitely let it breathe and let the people really enjoy and feel the moment, and I think that was definitely a moment right there. This is a comment from Gregory Cox who says, Conan's segment was beautiful. Cannot wait until Keeping It 100 Roundtable this week for AEW. So yes. And all right, guys, let's go ahead and move on from this. But BTW, before I move on, friendly reminder, if you guys are enjoying the stream, whether you're watching on Twitch, on YouTube, or listening to the audio version of this, friendly reminder that I am on 3 times a week. I talk about NXT on here. I talk about AEW Dynamite. And of course, we're back on Wednesdays. So that's going to be very exciting. I'll be here on Wednesday. And then Fridays for Smackdown. And then also I am doing a new show here with Andrew Zarian and Garrett Gonzalez. Our first show just premiered this week. It's called We're Live, Pal. And even though we weren't live on the first show, we are going to be live moving forward. And that's going to be every Tuesdays. Our first guest was Brian Alvarez, and we had a great conversation with him that is up here on the YouTube channel. You guys can definitely go ahead and check that out. So that should be fun because it's going to be more of a live roundtable type show. So I'm very excited since I've never done a show with Andrew or with Garrett. So it's going to be very exciting to, get this relationship going and see how we all work as co-hosts. That's going to be very, very fun. And yes, a nice name. Yeah, they came up with it. I was not the brains behind that, but it was a great name, I think. I agreed. I was just like, I agree, thumbs up. All right, guys, let's go ahead and move on. So after this, we had a pretty nice match here, and I am going to put over somebody during this match, and that is we had Matt Seidel versus Dante Martin. Okay. So this is actually the segment where I have to refer back to an earlier comment when somebody was talking about things that they don't like. So there was something that I did not like in this segment, and that was that we had Andrade, not the igloo, but we had Andrade El Idolo come out, and he and Vicky are about to make this announcement. And then it doesn't end up happening. Instead, we just continue on with this match between Matt Seidel and Dante Martin. I do have to say that as of right now, I am not liking the presentation of Andrade on AEW. I don't think that they've been doing him justice so far. I think that they're supposed to make him look. He already had, he's bringing his portion of it, right? He's coming in with the custom suits. He's coming in with the swagger, right? But I don't feel that the way that they've been presenting him on our television screens, I don't feel like it's doing him justice as this big star who just came into AEW. I kind of feel like I'm not crazy about the presentation. I thought it looked really silly to have them come out, not say what they have to say, have to go back to the back. I thought that was really dumb. There was a moment during commentary. Oh, and JR said his name wrong again. But there was a moment during commentary where they said something along the lines of Andrade being soft-spoken. And I was like, what? 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 When is Andrade soft spoken? That was kind of like a little bit irritating because I was like, okay, just because the man does not speak perfect English does not mean he's soft spoken. Like, that is not the definition of soft spoken. And I'm sorry, but any man who wears a custom made suit, custom designed suit, is not soft spoken whatsoever. So I kind of feel like they sort of decreased his like star power during this. And I already said my piece about that interview that he did with JR, which I was not a fan of. And then they come and do this week. Like, it's not doing him any favors whatsoever. So I do think that they have to I don't know, just present it better. Let's see what we got here. This is a comment from Bloody Blues who says, give it another week. I'm sure there's a plan. I hope so, because the debut was a disaster. A lot of people did not like the debut. I liked the debut, but then I found out nobody else really liked it. I mean, obviously there were people that liked it, but there was a lot of people that did not like it. And then we had that sit-down interview where JR cannot pronounce the guy's name and then kind of buries him when the guy tries to correct his name and totally ignores him. That was dumb. Then they did the subtitle thing, which I already talked about last week. And then this week we have this. So it's already like, 3 weeks of me essentially not liking what they're doing with Andrade. So I do hope that it picks up. I'm still going to give it another chance. Let's see what else we got here. This one's from Lenny. Oh, wait. There was a comment here. Where did I go? This one's from Lenny. Lenny says, patience, Denise. I like how everybody's trying to keep my patience down. I don't have, patience is not one of my good qualities, guys. It's not one of my qualities. Lenny Banner says, patience, Denise. Look at how long we've waited on Miro before he popped. You have a point. He then says, the segment worked because Vicky came out literally moments before a match was about to start. The show must go on, and Seidao interrupting the announcement made sense. Folks gotta chill. Trust AEW's creative process. I will not chill, Lenny. I refuse to chill. I was not a fan of this. Carney Business says, yeah, the debut was weak. Jordan says, Andrade's very presence. Andrade's very presence is a statement. Calling him soft-spoken feels like they are really underselling him. Thank you. Yes, that is exactly what I was trying to say. But you just said it in a way better way than I did. Chris Cage 2X says, JR versus Andrade, El Idolo's name pronunciation confirmed. Book it, Khan. Book it, man. Book it. All right, guys. Oh, we got a super chat. Thank you so much to Obo299. Obo, you are the person. Thank you so much for sending in this super chat. Says, I didn't like this promo. It seemed oddly racial. Are Tully and FTR are supposed to be racist heels? And the flexing over who is more poor growing up is just silly. I don't see it like that as like, oh, who was more poor growing up. I think it's more of like who had like a harder life growing up. I like that. Like the package that they did, I think it was last week or maybe the week before. No, I think it was last week. That whole package that they did there, I like that. I thought it told a good story, and it's giving them some depth. It's giving them some background. I'm a fan of this. So I don't think it's like racial, but who knows? Maybe some people might have definitely gotten that. Maybe with like no. I'm going to say no. I feel like it's a no for me on this one. But I like this, guys. I love the promo. I loved everything Conan had to say. I found it utterly hilarious. So for me, I just saw like the pros in this. But thank you so much to Obo299 for expressing your thoughts and sending in a super chat. I thank you so much for that. Seriously, thank you so much. All right, guys, let's see what else we got here. Thank you so much to It's Bobby Thunder, who says patience is overrated. Thank you. I agree. Sam3 says drop Vicky, put Andrade with Conan. Yeah, I know I liked the pairing of Andrade and Vicky. I did, but because I haven't gotten to see much of it really, I feel like I have like no comment on that. Like I liked it the first week, but apparently that did not help. It did not help his debut because everybody was like booing Vicky so hard that they couldn't even make out what she was saying when she introduced Andrade. So that was an issue there too. All right, guys, let's see what else we got here. All right, let's just a comment from Malice NY who says, AEW has always felt rushed and they don't leave a lot of room for suspense or anticipation to build. Sometimes it seems like they feel the need to rush new talent as it may help ratings. I don't know. See, I don't know if I totally feel this way about that. I feel like I feel like because there is a lot of like, after every match, we do have like, instead of just like ending a match and we end with whatever happened, we always have like this post match, shenanigans, everything that happens there. So maybe you do have a sense to that as well. All right, guys, let's see what else we got here. Credible Tag 02 says, patience is a virtue, Denise. I have not learned patience, guys. I'm not virtuous. I'm not the virtuosa. It hasn't happened for me yet. But we're going to go ahead and move on, guys. This is a good comment. Let me read this one from the Cooch97 who says, he will get there, folks. Patience. Tranquilo. Calma. Yeah, that's good. All right, guys, let's go ahead and move on here. All right, I'm actually need to talk about this match itself because I haven't even gotten into the Matt Seidel versus Dante Martin match. And here's where I want to get at with this actual match since I got so distracted with everything that happened before. So I want to take a second to put over Dante Martin here because I like what they're doing with Dante Martin. I thought that right from the start, he looked good. Obviously, he's still a little green, but that's perfectly fine. He's a young guy. He's learning, he's growing, he's improving. But what I specifically like here is that they're letting him be himself in the ring with the way that he works his matches and the way that he adds all this extra pizzazz to everything that he does. I like that. I'm a fan of that. So I feel like they're doing Dante some justice here. So good for him. Matt Seidel hits Dante with a standing corkscrew moonsault during this match. I thought that was a fantastic little spot there. They move on to commercial. And when we come back throughout this match, we see a lot of awesome spots from Dante. He does a double springboard moonsault. He does a high angle sunset flip. He does a flip stunner. And in the end, we do see Matt Seidel win this match. But even though he won, and I mean, most of us expected Matt Seidel to win, I don't think this hurt Dante whatsoever. And I think that he really made this match worth his while and really made the best out of the TV time that he was given. So, kudos to Dante Martin. Great match with Matt Seidel there. Good stuff there. We have another super chat. Thank you so much to Anima Master. Thank you so much, Anima Master. Anima Master says, AEW signed Conan to an AEW contract to be the manager of Proud and Powerful. We can all agree he can be the only person to beat Kingston in a promo battle. Ooh, why did you bring that up? I didn't even think about that. Where is my brain, man? Conan and Eddie Kingston in a promo battle? Bro, can you imagine? The things that would be said? Are you kidding me? I would love that. It's a great idea. Thank you so much to Anima Master for sending in this super chat. You win best idea of the day. All right, guys, let's see what else we got here. This is a comment from Jordan who says, I wouldn't mind AEW introducing a cruiserweight style title. A match like Martin versus Seidel could have added significance if a title like that was around. No, I think they're okay. I think they got a lot of titles already happening. And just to see... I would normally like when we see a bunch of rematches, obviously that's when we start talking about like there not being a significance in a certain match, but we're not seeing that right now with AEW. Like all of these matches are pretty fresh. So for me, it's like still, it feels good to watch these matches. I don't feel like they necessarily need like, obviously, they have their ranking system and all of that, but I don't feel like it needs that additional thing because these are all like new, fresh matchups. Now, if these were matches that we were seeing over and over again, I would be like, bro, we need some stakes here, But no, I think we're good on that end there too. All right, guys, let's go ahead and see what we got here. All right, I think I got most of these comments here. BTW, thank you so much to everyone who is watching here. BTW, if you do enjoy my show at any point, man, feel free to tweet out, tell your friends, tell your buddy if you guys have any pals that are wrestling fans, let them know. Check out that girl, Denise Salcedo. Speak Now Pro Wrestling on Wrestling Observer, on F4W Online. Let them know to come check out the show. I cover pretty much every single wrestling show that there is. Consume a lot of wrestling throughout the weeks and talk about it. So it's a very fun job, but hopefully you guys will help me spread the word about my show. And if you do like the show, again, tell your friends. All right. Oh, we got another super chat from Faustino Vargas. Man, Faustino, thank you so much, man. Thumbs up here. Faustino asks, how long do you think it will take to have Jungle Boy as a world champion after Moxley gets it back? So obviously we'll talk a little bit more about this match. We'll talk about that match when we get to it, but I do think that it was the right call, obviously, to not have Jungle Boy win just yet. As for a certain time period, I don't think I can like give you an actual time period as to when I think Jungle Boy will be champion, because I still think like everybody's still like, oh, maybe a lot of people predict that maybe Hangman Page is going to be the guy to defeat Kenny Omega. So you still got to think about the fact that there's still that. And then you mentioned like Moxley. They could still do something with Moxley as well there too. I think that they do have a lot of options. And that is the good thing about AEW, is that they have a lot of options for people that could be challengers to the champions and people that actually have enough credibility to be champions. And that is a really good thing. Jungle Boy, dude, he's still so young, man. I don't know how old Jungle Boy is. I forget his age, but actually let me do a quick Google search here. The guy is 24 years old, man. He still has plenty of time to like wait his turn in line, eventually become champion and have a great run and still be young even when that happens. So I feel like a lot of times like maybe we'll want to rush because we're like, oh, he's hot right now and the fans love him and this and that. But I think it's better just to let it sizzle just a little bit. Let it ride the wave. People were talking about patience being a virtue. Patience. I do think that eventually we will see Jungle Boy as champion here. But thank you so much to Faustino Vargas for sending in this super chat. You're awesome, dude. Thank you so much. We actually have another super chat. This one is from Q Rutan, who says, when will we see salad tossing Sammy, rusty trombone Miro? I have no idea. But that is definitely something that would be awesome. Obviously, Miro as champion, he's definitely has a lot of potential to have a lot of great matches with a lot of talent. Like that's really what, guys, there's a lot of talents. There's a lot of depth in the AEW roster that I'm pretty sure each and every single person watching this show right now can, at the top of their head, think of at least 10, 15 matches, dream matches that they have in AEW, because there is a lot of talent and there is a lot of depth. So I think a lot of us have a lot of those, people that we would like to see here. All right, guys, let's see what else we got here. I'm going to scroll through a couple of comments, and yeah, I think this is a comment from Mixed Partial Farts, who says, Jungle Boy future champ, but years away. Maybe not. I don't know about, again, I really don't know the time frame of that, to be honest, but we'll talk about that a little bit more when we get to the match, guys. All right, guys, let's move on to this next segment that we have here. All right, guys. So backstage, we had MJF, Sean Spears, Wardlow do an interview with Alex Marvez, and basically MJF just talks about the events that took place last week. He talks about Dean being old, says that he was a kid when the rainbow was black and white, says he shouldn't be involved in a dangerous profession like pro wrestling, and that he should thank him for sending him to early retirement. Chris Jericho and Jake Hager then come out and attack them. They brawl in the back. They end up out on the stage. And the one criticism that I do have of this, to be honest, everybody, is that I really do think that they should give the Pinnacle, that they should give MJF a longer period of time where they actually, I don't like that MJF can't have the heat on Jericho for more than a week without Jericho getting his heat back, or, the Pinnacle getting their heat back. So I do kind of feel like at times they're like 50-50 in this. And that's what haven't been crazy about since the very beginning. And that's something that I have been talking about, because I personally feel that the way that the Pinnacle was introduced, when they did that whole when MJF and, broke off from the Inner Circle, and you thought that the Inner Circle was going to, betray Jericho. When they did that back and forth stuff, I thought that the Pinnacle, the way that they were introduced to AEW Dynamite, was a very, very strong way to introduce them. And they came across as these very hot, smart ass heels. And I kind of feel like they have lost that a little bit. They don't necessarily feel as dominant as I think that they should feel, to be honest, because again, they don't let them keep their heat without the Inner Circle getting it back so quickly. So I do think that they should, like we've been talking about here today, patience. Let them have a little bit of heat and keep it for a while until Inner Circle can get it back here. That's pretty much my thoughts on that. To be honest, I think that it would be a cool story to basically tell, like if MJF was a guy that was not getting touched whatsoever, if the Pinnacle was doing everything in their power to essentially keep MJF safe. And, obviously with MJF and the mouth that he has, he's bound to get under people's skin. So obviously the moment that, you were to have somebody essentially put their hands on MJF, that would be a major pop there. But that doesn't seem like the direction that they're heading in. Although I think it would be something cool, a good story to tell there. It doesn't seem like that's what they're going with. But afterwards, we do see Sammy Guevara come out and help out his guys. Sammy then cuts a promo on MJF and basically says that they put the wrong guy on the t-shirts, they put the wrong guy on the action figures, and says that he is going to show everybody that he is the best on Wednesday. And this is kind of going back to my point that I was trying to make earlier. So at the top of this show, Sammy got laid out by Shawn Spears with a chair, and within an hour, bam, he gets his heat back. So I will say that they do need to let it stir just a tiny little bit there. But let's see what you guys got here. This is a comment from Tyler Wilson, who says, I like the chair shot Sammy gave to Spears to the arm at the end. It was a subtle thing, but a payback. And this is a comment from YouTubian, who says, they need to separate the Pinnacle and Inner Circle feuds, because we know we're not getting any 10-man matches after Blood and Guts and Stadium Stampede. I do kind of feel like they're doing that. Like they're sort of like partnering off a little bit. So I have gotten, and especially when they did that second Stadium Stampede match, a lot of the way that it was shot and the way that it was presented and edited, everybody kind of had like their person that they were fighting with throughout this entire Stadium Stampede, versus like the first Stadium Stampede where like everybody was fighting everybody. So that's a little bit there. Let's see what else we got here. This one's from Carney Business, who says, it feels like the Pinnacle Inner Circle feud is going in reverse. Started with 2 big gimmick matches when they should have been the blow off to the feud. 100%. I could not agree with you anymore on this comment, because I was literally saying that at some point a couple months back here on this show. I do think that they could have definitely reversed it for sure. Let's see what else we got here. This is from Anima Master, who says, we all complain about the Pinnacle and Inner Circle not having any matches left. Guys, let's bring back the Tower of Doom match from WCW. That match be amazing, says Anima Master here. And let's see what else we got here. This is a comment from Lenny, who says, I didn't mind the stuff tonight with Pinnacle and the Inner Circle. They started out the night going at Sammy to set up his comeback later, as well as a plot point for Sammy MJF on Wednesday night. FTR laid out Ortiz and Santana. They dropped Conan. They can branch off a lot of different ways with this as we move through the summer months into the fall. Yeah, you got a point there. And that was something that obviously that looks like the direction that they're heading in with, we just saw the Jake Hager Wardlow MMA fight. That was just an example of them, branching off and doing different stuff here. All right, guys, let's see. I'm going to read this comment and then we're going to move on. This one is from Patrick, who says, I'd like to see them work towards ending this feud, but I feel like we might be in it for a long haul. Yeah, like Lenny just mentioned, I think that, that feud's going to be there no matter what in the background, even as they're doing, certain matches with members of the Inner Circle and the Pinnacle. That main story is like always going to be there until eventually it's not. All right, guys. After this, we had a quick backstage promo from Miro. He's thanking God for his wife. He's gonna have his match with Brian Pillman Jr. next week. He says that he's God's favorite champion. Says that the bravest thing Brian has ever done is think about attacking him, and that's kind of it there. But let's move into this match with Ethan Page versus Bear Bronson of Bear Country here. This was a fun little match here, guys. I was a fan of this. We saw Ethan Page slap Bear and essentially piss him off right at the start of this match. We see Bear get him with several punches. Bear does dive to the outside, which I completely popped for because he does this dive, right? But Scorpio Sky pushes Ethan Page out of the way and ends up taking the dive. But I love this guy. Anytime I see a big guy do like these, moves that you don't think that they should be doing, I'm going to mark out. No matter how many times I've seen it, I don't care. I'm going to pop for it. And I popped for this dive here. I was a fan of this. After this, there was a very rough spot where Ethan Page gives a suplex from the top rope to Bear Bronson. And this was ugly, guys. This was not good. And I don't know what happened here, but it kind of looked like either Paige couldn't carry him, or he slipped. I don't really know, but it looked terrible. And then when they did the replay, they did the camera shot from the other angle, so it didn't look as bad. But from the back portion, the camera portion from the back, it looked bad. It did not look good. After this, we do see Paige go for a low blow, and then he gets an awesome Ego's Edge for the finish. And I love the Ego's Edge, especially on a guy like Bear, because he's this big guy, and obviously you can tell that he got really light for Ethan Page here. So that was a really fun little finish there. Post-match, Ethan Page challenges Darby Allin, says he's going to be the nail in Darby's coffin. So he challenges him to a coffin match on July 7th, which is, I think, 2 weeks from now. So I'm assuming, obviously, Darby is bound to accept, and we're looking like we're going to see a coffin match, which I cannot wait for. Also, next week, we are seeing Vicky and Nyla versus Britt and Rebel next week. But let's see what you guys say here. Let's see what else we got here. Let's see. All right, this is a comment from Carney, who says that Ego's Edge was awesome and might be his best one yet. Throwing a bear like that was very impressive. Yeah, it was very impressive. Very, very impressive. We have a comment from Pomi, who says, happy to see guys like Bear Bronson and Dante Martin don't completely disappear after their tag partners get injured. Yeah, good shout there. I agree with this comment as well. Let's see. We got a comment from Tyler Wilson in regards to Britt Baker. Tyler says, Britt is so poised in her promos. I love the flipping burgers line, especially from last week. Dude, Britt's been like on another level, man. Girl has been stepping it up. She's been doing a great job here. Let's see what else we got here. All right, I think we got pretty much everything that I wanted to get here. Guys, friendly reminder, if you haven't already, if you're watching the show and you enjoy some of my wrestling commentary, I do live tweet throughout each and every single show. In fact, I may have an addiction to Twitter. It's probably not great for me, but I'm on Twitter all the time. If you haven't followed me yet, make sure you do so at _ Denise Salcedo. Make sure to check me out on Twitter and or on Instagram at _ Denise Salcedo. Also, I do have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/Denise Salcedo. For those of you guys who weren't here on Friday, I gave my Friday viewers a little bit of a scoop, but on Monday, I am interviewing Tommaso Ciampa. I'm interviewing Tommaso Ciampa on Monday, and I cannot wait. That's going to be going up probably on Tuesday. So if you guys want to make sure you guys know when my interviews and stuff are up, you can definitely subscribe to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Denise Salcedo, or follow me on Twitter and Instagram at _ Denise Salcedo. All right, guys, let's do this. We're going to move on to Bunny versus Chris Statlander. And this was a very clunky match, to be honest. I didn't think that they had very good chemistry here. I thought that, Bunny, she usually looks good when she's in, it depends on who she's in the ring with, to be honest. I thought that Chris Statlander, did her best here, but this probably wasn't the best match here. We see Bunny do a German suplex. Didn't look that great. Gets a 2 count. Afterwards, we'd see the Blade give her some brass knuckles to try and cheat her way into winning this match. But Orange Cassidy, who's on the outside, catches this and takes the brass knuckles away. Chris Statlander then hits her with a package tombstone. And this looked nasty because she got spiked on her head. Bunny got spiked on her head here. And so that did not look good. Although it was a fun finish because of the little comedy that they did with the brass knuckles and into the package tombstone. All of that was good, but it just it looked a little bit clunky throughout this entire match. So this probably wasn't my favorite here. Post-match, we do see Orange Cassidy and Blade go at it. Then TH2 comes out to attack Cassidy as well. And as you guys know, best friends aren't there because Trent has had neck surgery, and Blade is essentially Blade gets his brass knuckles back from Orange Cassidy, who took them away from Bunny at the top of this, and hits Cassidy with the brass knuckles. So that was pretty much that. And next week, we do have another match announcement. We are going to be seeing QT Marshall versus Cody Rhodes July 7th. I mean, I haven't really been digging this stuff that they've been doing with QT Marshall and Cody Rhodes, so I don't know how much I'm looking forward to this. Not really. Miro versus Brian Pillman Jr. is also happening next week. And let's go ahead and jump into the main event, everybody. Let's do this. Actually, I'm going to read a comment from Justin Martin, who says, Orange Cassidy taking the brass knucks and putting them in his pocket was hilarious. I hope Bunny is okay, though, because that landing was awful. Yep, completely agree here. And let's see what we got here. All right, I think I got mostly everybody here. But let's move on to the main event, everybody. What did you think about Jungle Boy versus Kenny Omega? Because I have to say that I love this. I loved this main event. I thought that the way this main event went down was absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect. It was a very, very simple, straight to the point story that made for an awesome match here. So let's talk a little bit about the story before I actually get into the actual moves that were done throughout this match. So the story here really is that Jungle Boy, you know, he obviously isn't ready to hold the title. I think, you know, we know that. Maybe even some part of him knows that. But he is literally doing every single thing possible. Everything in his arsenal, everything that the boy has. He's like, I'm going to put it all into this match to see if I can win this. It gets to the point where maybe he does some, you know, unnecessary, where he throws in some unnecessary risk to this match. Why? Because he's willing to do anything. He's willing to do everything to actually defeat Kenny Omega. And then you have Kenny Omega, who's essentially this dominant champion, right? But he's also a guy that you can say underestimated his challenger in Jungle Boy. He underestimated him during this match. And that was the story that we got here. And it was simple, easy, and entertaining. So that's what I really, really liked about this. So at the top of this match, we see the Good Brothers and Luchasaurus and Marco Stunt essentially get kicked out by the referee. Then we see Kenny chop and elbow Jungle Boy in the corner. Jungle Boy then reverses it and gets Kenny Omega with a couple of chops. Jungle Boy later on in this match gets him with an elbow suicida, then a tope suicida. Jungle Boy then gets him with a tope con hero. Then we see Kenny Omega powerbomb Jungle Boy, rolls him out into the V trigger. Jungle Boy then gets him with a snare trap, and this was great because during this you then see the Good Brothers and Jurassic Express come out, and they start going at it on the stage. They start brawling there, and Kenny is eventually able to actually get to the rope, so he breaks that. Kenny then gets the Brain Buster. That leads him into getting into a 2 count here during this match. Then we see Kenny Omega go for the One-Winged Angel, and Jungle Boy counters that and almost gets a 3 count, but then he doesn't get the 3 count, but manages to get Kenny right back into the snare trap. And I'm thinking, oh, that is really good here. Afterwards, we see Kenny hit the Tiger Driver, gets another 2 count. Then finally, for the actual win here, Kenny gets the One-Winged Angel, and that is how he wins this match. And post-match, Kenny is about to hit Jungle Boy with the championship bout, but Christian comes out and stops him, and then Matt Hardy and his guys come out to attack Christian, and this was really just a good story. Like, overall, we have the story between Kenny Omega and Jungle Boy, but then at the same time, you had the added addition of Christian, who we know at some point, or we can suspect that at some point, he is bound to turn on Jungle Boy. So when that moment comes, it's kind of like you have all of this, you know, story behind it, everything that happened, you know, post-match during this. So no matter what, this is bound to be a good story here. This was a fantastic match, guys. I loved it. What did you guys think about this? We have a comment from Wrestle War who says this match was so awesome and made the show for me. See, that's the thing, is that obviously we all were expecting a good main event. I don't think anybody here was expecting this match to suck whatsoever, and we got exactly that. Guys, we have a super chat. Thank you so much to Connecting People Through Wrestling. Sends in a super chat and says, the best part was that there was no outside Gaga. It ruined the Omega Moose match for me. This was a great match. Yeah, I was not a fan of the Kenny Omega Moose match. I didn't like it. I really did not like it. And, you know, I made my piece on that match already, but I didn't like that match. And I thought it was going to be a good match, and it wasn't. But obviously, I think we got a polar opposite match here with Jungle Boy, and that match was absolutely fantastic. And even though maybe you can say that there was a little bit of outside Gaga, there wasn't enough to actually take away from the actual match. And I'm glad, because I don't think anybody here wanted. Everybody here, I think for the most part, was looking forward to a straightforward match between Kenny Omega and Jungle Boy. So thank you so much to to connecting people through wrestling for sending in this super chat. All right, guys, let's see what else you guys thought here. This is a comment from Josh Razukas, who says, I actually thought Jungle Boy was going to win several times. Great job suspending disbelief. Also, Sean just tweeted he's been told that Bunny is fine. Thank goodness. Good to know, guys. We were talking about Bunny and, what happened during her match. So good to know that she is fine. And, yeah, see, that's the thing is that, obviously a lot of people did not expect Jungle Boy to win. But if you can make us suspend our disbelief even for like 1-2 seconds. Hell, I call that a win. So thank you so much to Josh for sending in this comment. We have a comment from Justin who says, amazing match, so much action and drama back and forth. There were a few times I really thought Jungle Boy could pull it off. Omega sure as heck earned that win. Jordan Patu says, a lot of these great Bucks and Omega title matches have been done a disservice by constant interference and run-ins. It was refreshing to get a proper one on a one-on-one title match tonight. Oh, yeah, 100%. I think the people would have been a little bit upset if it wasn't, like you said, a proper one-on-one title match here. Our Riggs says this was a great match and shows that even though Omega does cheat, he doesn't need to do so. And this is a comment from Anima who says, I honestly did think that Omega would lose the title tonight only because of the reports that Omega is injured and sick. His facial expressions really gave his pain away. Pummy Wrestling says, I started watching this match 100% confident Omega would retain. And even then, they made me believe that Jungle Boy could win. Happy they got rid of the Good Brothers and Jurassic Express at the start. Chris Cage 2X says it was a great main event. Jack Perry almost won, but it puts him over huge. Lord knows who will take the title off of Omega. And a comment from Lenny who says, they did an excellent job of using this match to propel Jungle Boy in such a way where him losing isn't the story so much as people talking about how bright the future is for Jungle Jack going forward. 100%, guys. Again, I don't think that, obviously he lost this match, but he didn't lose anything from actually losing the match. So I call that a win. And Faustino Vargas, my goodness, sends in another super chat. Thanks, man. Faustino says, thanks for creating this community, especially during this time that we feel so disconnected. Honestly, my life has changed ever since I took on a bigger role here with F4W. Like, has completely changed, and I could not be more thankful for like the opportunities I have been given. And I just continue to try to prove myself more and more each week. And I've been loving this community that I feel everybody there's so many people that I see here that are new faces, but also a lot of people that I already know based off of their names, because I remember your guys' names from the streams and reading your chats, and I see your guys' tweets. Even if I don't always respond, I see everybody's tweets, or mostly everybody's tweets. And I'm always interacting with people, and I really think that has literally, again, at a time where, we've had this drastic thing happen in this world, it has been great to, sort of have this online friendship with people. So thank you so much to Faustino Vargas for sending in this super chat. And we have another super chat. This one is from Cameron Mumford. Thank you so much, Cameron. Cameron says, you rule, Denise. Keep on being you because your show rocks. We all bow down to Hollywood Salcedo, the undisputed queen of YouTube. Acknowledge her. Hell yeah. Acknowledge me, everybody. Acknowledge me. Thank you so much to Cameron Mumford for not only sending in the super chat, but also sending in this very, very friendly and thoughtful post. You have no idea, guys. No idea. Kind words really go a long way, okay? Because there is a territory that comes with being an on-air personality, but it's cool. I seriously thank everybody who tunes into the shows and just takes part and interacts and all of that. So thank you so much to Cameron Mumford for sending this in. Guys, oh my gosh, everybody's such, see, when you have a good wrestling show, everybody's in a good mood. We're all chill. We all like each other. I mean, it's fantastic. It sets the mood for a good stream, everybody. Alrighty, everyone. So there you go. That is pretty much my stream here today. Thank you so much for everyone who tuned in. Again, if you liked my show, tweet about it. Tag me and I'll go ahead and retweet and all of that stuff. Help me spread the word. If not, I will see you guys back here on Tuesday for NXT. That's always a really fun conversation. Then I'll be back once again for AEW Dynamite on Wednesday, because again, we are back on Wednesdays, everybody. So do not forget that. And then Smackdown, my most chill show of the week, Friday Night Smackdown. Make sure you guys come in for that too. Check out We're Live, Pal, with myself and Andrew Zarian and Garrett Gonzalez. Again, you can watch the first episode with Brian Alvarez up now on YouTube, and then we'll be live on Tuesday. So that's pretty much what's going on here. Thank you so much for everybody who tuned in. I appreciate you all. Love you all. Have a fantastic rest of your weekends. Goodbye, everyone.